Greetings to you all. Nice to see you all back. Hope you're all staying safe and alert. In my previous video, we had discussed about single step methods which are used to solve the initial value problems for ordinary differential equations. We do have another kind of methods called multi-step methods which are also helpful in solving these initial value problems. We shall focus on such methods in this video. We shall describe what the methods are in detail, understand what is the procedure that is involved, and frame the working rule, and thus apply the rule to certain problems in my subsequent video. So let's begin to understand what we mean by multi-step methods. Multi-step methods are also called predictor-corrector methods. So we shall see in this slide what do we mean by these methods. First of all, let us begin with the IVP that we are already aware of. The IVP which we have taken as a first order IVP, if you recall, with one initial condition, y of x naught is equal to y naught. So when we use this IVP for single step methods, you remember that our unknowns here were to find out values of y1, y2, y3, y4, etc. from the previously found value, meaning we found y1 using y0, y2 using y1, y3 using y2, and so on. But if you look at the aim of this method, I say directly it is to find the value of y4, no y1, y2, y3. So what does this mean here? That if you go back to our number line, we have here x0, y0 as given in our initial condition. And we know what is x4. We are asked to find y4. But the h value that is given to us does create an intermediate set of values, say x1, x2 and x3. So these values are also known to us based on the h value given. Now we are given y0, we are not given y1, we are not given y2, we are not given y3, but we are asked to find only y4 using this method. Now what does this mean? That y4, to create y4 using these methods, we are supposed to know the values of y1, y2, y3 along with y0. Y0 anyway we know because they are our initial conditions. But now we have to see how do we get y1, y2, y3. Is it given to us in the problem or is there a way to find them? Definitely they may be given in the problem. If not also, we can use single step methods to evaluate y1 using y0, y2 using y1 and y3 using y2 even if it is not given by using any one of the methods. So we shall do some problems in our problem session where we will be doing problem where all are given and where we have to find the values so that you will be aware. But mostly the problems involve given values. So only if you know y0, y1, y2, y3, you find the value of y4 using these predictor corrector methods. So the first point that you should understand in these methods is the unknown is computed making use of 4 prior values before the unknown. When I say prior, it is before the unknown. So I need 4 prior values, both of x and y, to get the value of y4. So x0, y0, x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3. I need 4 sets of values to find y4. That is my first step to understand. Now since I am calling it the predictor corrector method, it is understood that each method involves a pair of formulae. That means there are 2 formulae that we have here and one will be called the predictor formula, the other will be called the corrector formula. Now let's see what each formula does. The first formula is called the predictor formula, which is used to predict. You see, we are predicting the answer. We are predicting the value of the unknown. Now, when you say y4 is your unknown, y4 is your unknown here, we use the notation y4 comma p. Now, this means it is the predicted value. The p denotes here the predicted value of y4. Now this value is not the final answer of y4. It's only a prediction based on the formula. Now this has to go in for a correction, and that is where we need the next formula called the corrector formula. Now what are we going to do? This value will be substituted in the right hand side of the corrector formula and then will be refined. So we will get a new value after we use the corrector formula. So let's write about that. So the second value, the value that we are finding now, which is y4p, will be substituted where? In the right hand side of the second formula, which we are calling it to be the corrector formula, and to obtain a new and a refined value. Now this value will be called y4, c. So you're using the predictor formula and the entire data given to you to get the predicted value first, that is y4p. You are using this value in the right hand side of the corrector formula, and then you are obtaining a new value for y4, which is called y4c. Now, if these values, if the predicted value and the corrected value both correlate, agree exactly up to the required number of decimal places, that means I would say give me y4 correct to 4 decimal places. So suppose y4p and y4c agree correctly up to 4 decimal places, then what we shall do, we shall conclude this as our answer and say y4 value is nothing but y4c. But if the predicted and the corrected value do not agree for the 4 decimal places that we want, then this y4c must go in for further correction. That means I'm going to now use this corrected value once again in the right hand side of the corrector formula. So that means I am performing a method of iteration to correct the value again and again until I get 2 consecutive values to be the same. I'll explain this in detail in my next slide. As of now, understand that if the predicted value and the corrected value which you have found agree to the correct number of decimal places, then you stop the problem and declare the corrected value as your y4. Suppose they do not agree till the required number of decimal places, then this corrected value needs a further refinement. So what will you do for that? You substitute this y4c back in the corrector formula and then you get a new y4c. So now you will compare these two y4c's. You will forget the predicted value and you will look at the old value of y4, the new value of y4, and if these two correlate, then you stop the problem and you declare the answer as y4. You will understand this better when we do a problem. As of now, understand that the corrective formula that we are using follows an iterative procedure, whereas the predictor formula gives you the answer directly. Fix another point important is fix the decimal place to 4 decimal places when you are using the predictor formula, and one more than the number of decimal places which you used in predictor, maybe that is 5 decimal places, so that we shall, after completing the iterative procedure, we shall round it off to 4 decimal places. So this is our aim. Understand till here that the predicted value is got directly, the corrected value is got by following an iterative process, and then a repetition of the usage of corrective formula will only give us the final corrected value. So what have I written here? This value is further substituted in the right hand side of the second formula until 2 consecutive values obtained by the second formula coincide up to the required degree of accuracy. Now this I will explain it by a flow chart in the next slide. You will get an idea. So keep the idea in mind when we do the problems. Further refinement will come when you use this rule in problems. Let's move to the flowchart and understand the scheme even better. Let's start with the flowchart here. I start with the predictor formula. Then from the predictor formula, using all the data, what do I get? I calculate which value of y? I calculate y4p. You all know this. So from the predictor formula, because you know that y4 is your unknown, And here I am fixing my number of decimal places by default as 4. If there is nothing asked in the question, then fix it to 4 decimal places as required. So we are going to declare y4 correct to 4 decimal places. So if predictor formula we use, we calculate the predicted value here. Then where am I going to use this predictor value now? It will be used in the right hand side of the corrector formula. That's what we said. So use y4p in the right hand side of the corrector formula. On simplifying the corrector formula, what will I get? I will get a new value of y4. And what is that? y4c1 I call. That means it is the first corrected value. Now please understand the process, but we will not be using C1, C2 in the problems. So to understand the process, I have put it as C1, C2. Calculate y4, C1. C1 meaning it will give you the first corrected value. Now what are the two values I've got for y4 now? I've got the predicted value here. I've got the corrected value here. We shall check whether both these values agree correctly up to the 4 decimal places. So we are comparing the old value of y, the new value of y. So y4c1, is it approximately equal to y4p, correct to 4 decimal places? If it is so, if this is true, if these two are approximately equal, I can say that yes, both are matching, correct to 4 decimal places. I stop my problem there and I conclude the value of y4 is nothing but the corrected value of y4. So y4c1 becomes your answer. You stop the problem there. But if the corrected value, if the new value of y4, that is y4c1, is not approximately equal to y4p, it is not equal, then what should I do? Proceed further. I have to use this value now. I have to use this y4c1 back in the right hand side of the corrector formula. So I am repeating this process again. But there what did I put? y4p. Now what am I putting? y4c1. That is the new value of y4 that I have found. I am going to substitute it in the right hand side of the corrector formula and then again recalculate. So I will get a new value of y4. What is that new value? It is y4c2. So what are the values that I got now? y4p, then I got y4c1, but they both are not matching. Now you remove y4p from your memory. Remove that from your memory. What is there now? The new value is y4c1 and the old value that you have is y4c2 and the old value that you have is y4c1. Check whether these two are approximately equal. Now if y4c2 is approximately equal to y4c1, correct to the 4 decimal places that we want, then I will conclude my y4 as y4c2. If it is not so, I will once again substitute y4c2 back in the right hand side of the corrector formula and then I will find a new value of y4c, that will become y4c3, and again I will check with y4c2, and so this is the way I will proceed until two consecutive values coincide up to the required accuracy that we require, and that will give me the final y4. So this is the structure of finding out the value of y4 using the predictor corrector formulae. Now keep the structure in mind very clearly and then we shall apply this in problems. The first predictor corrector method is called the Milne's predictor corrector method. So let's write the IVP first. So that's the IVP as we've been doing, and our aim is to find out y4. So this is my unknown. So assuming that I know. So assuming that I know y1, y2 and y3. This is suppose known values, I know them. And here if I have seen x0, y0 are already known, and assuming that all these three values are already known, let us start off by writing the formula for Milne's predictor method formula. So that will be given by this expression. Now if you see, I have yn plus 1 comma p. That P stands for predicted value, and I have a formula in this manner. Let us study each one of them. I'm sure you know that if I want a 4, y4 here, I need the value of y4. So if I want 4 here, I need to substitute n equal to 3 in it. So when I put n equal to 3, look at how the formula will look like. It will be y4 comma p. That's the predicted value of y4, and that will be equal to y0 plus 4h by 3 multiplied by, now multiplied by 2y1 dash minus y2 dash plus 2y3 dash. This is what it will be. Now to calculate this value, what all do I require? Y0. Do I know that? Yes. H is given to me in the problem. I know. What is y1 dash? What will y2 dash mean? What will y3 dash mean? Now can we guess from the given equation? I'm sure you all agree that if y dash is equal to f of xy, now you see y dash is equal to f of xy. So can you tell me now, can you guess what will be y1 dash? What did I tell you? Wherever there is a variable, put the suffix as 1. So it will simply be f of x1 comma y1, correct? So we are just substituting it there. y2 dash. What is y2 dash? It will simply be f of x2 comma y2. That means I am putting the suffix as 2 here. Similarly, y3 dash. Let me erase it off. And in a similar manner, if I want to write it in the most general case, if my formula has the most general case before substitution, so can you tell me what will be yn minus 2 dash? It will simply be f of x n minus 2 comma y n minus 2 by what I explained to you just now. So let's rewrite them one by one and then see how to apply them. Application, as I said, it's only in the problem. So as of now, understand what each of them mean. What is y n minus 3? Yn minus 3 is y of x minus 3. What will it be here if I put n equal to 3? Y0 is equal to y of x0. Isn't it true? That value is already known to me. So it's a value given in the problem. So isn't it? It's already given in my problem. Now when I get here, what is the next step? Yn minus 2 dash. This is the term I want. I told you, as y dash is f of xy, simply put the suffix as n minus 2. That will give you this term. Similarly, yn minus 1 dash, the next term. So these are all function substitutions. You just have to put that value in that function and get the answer. They are very simple, but you need to find a way to remember the formula. So yn dash is f of xn yn. So this formula, which I have written it here, is called the Milne's predictor formula, and it is used to predict the value of y4. So I have written it here saying that this is obtained by just substituting the values in the given function. There's nothing else that you need to do, just a substitution. That's the easiest part. And this formula is called the Milne's predictor formula, is used to predict the value of y4p given the values of y0, y1, y2, y3, y4, and here p is called the suffix, and that indicates that y4 is the predicted value. As I said, y4p represents the predicted value of, this is the predicted value of y4. Now for this case, as I said, use your calculator, fix the calculator to 4 decimal places and get the value of y4p. I'll give you the corrector formula in my next slide. Let me now explain the Milne's corrector formula. Let me write the formula first. See, the C here implies it's a corrector formula, and as I said, I want y4c, so I should put n equal to 3, as you can guess. So what is y4c here? Let us substitute n equal to 3. It is here y2 plus h by 3 times, it is y2 dash plus 4 times y3 dash plus y4p dash. Now you tell me what each of them mean. You can do it with me. Y2 is already given to us in the problem, or we would have found it earlier. H value is also known. So what do you guess y2 dash is from the given equation? It is f of x2 comma y2. Because y dash is equal to f of xy. And then what is y3 dash? As I told you, put the suffix as 3 everywhere. F of x3 comma y3. Now look at the last one. What is that y4p dash? That means it is a value. I have found one value for y4. What is the value of y4? I know the predicted value of y4. I already know y4p value. It's already known to me using predictor formula. So it is f of x4, which we know, comma, do we know y4? We don't know the exact value. We know the predicted value. So that predicted value has to be substituted here. So it is y4 comma p. So this point is important. What is y4 p dash? I told you the predicted value is to be substituted on the right hand side of the corrector formula. It is here where we are substituting. That means it's a function of x4 comma, in place of y you are replacing it by the predicted value that you found. So that will give you y4 p dash, and then by doing so you get the corrected value, the first corrected value of y4. So you have now found the predicted value. You will be finding the corrector value by you substituting the predicted value in the right hand side of this formula. And let us expand this here as it is yn minus 1, as I told you here, by putting n equal to 3 I have explained, but we are writing it in the general form. Yn minus 1 dash you know, yn dash you know, and look at this, yn plus 1 p dash this is where the predicted value is substituted. That's what I have explained. It's the predicted value of n plus 1, yn plus 1, which you found using the first formula, and the remaining is only a formula substituting in the given function. And now this formula is called the corrector formula, and it is used to correct, refine the crude value meaning it's a guess value. The predicted value is not the exact value all the time. In fact, most of the time it needs a correction, and this formula does the correction. And that C here denotes the corrected value of y4. So how will you read y4c? Y4c means the corrected value of y4. A similar strategy can also be applied for another method called Adam-Bashforth predictor corrector method. Now that we shall see. This is based on this Milne's. We shall do some problems in the next video. We have one more formula under this category that also we shall see in similar lines, and then define a working rule to solve such problems. Let us also write down the formulae of another method, which is called the Adam-Bashforth predictor corrector method. So in a similar manner, let's write the IVP. Let's write the aim of the problem to find y4. So we will require, again, to find y4p, so we will require a predictor formula and a corrector formula. So the two formulae only would be changing from Milne's and this method. So the Adams predictor formula is given this way. And what does it mean? Again, we need to put n equal to 3 to get the corresponding results. So all these values are known to you. So in general, yn dash is nothing but f of xn comma yn, substituting it in the given first order differential equation, because you are given y dash equal to f of xy. Simply replace the suffix as n here everywhere. You get all the values subsequently. So it's a very simple one. So you can substitute all the values given to you and get the result. So all these are obtained. This is called the predictor formula. It's used to predict the value, and the y4p is called the predicted value. Let's go in for the corrector formula in the next slide. So let's note the Adams corrector formula now. The formula is given in this manner. So it's n plus 1 comma c. We are going to put n equal to 3. We are using the predicted value here. Do you see that? So when I put n equal to 3, I get y4p dash. And what is that according to my equation? F of x4. And instead of y4, it will be written as y4p. That's all. So that alone is a change. The remaining, all the values, we know them as it is already dealt with. So this is the predicted value. All the other values are known, and it is called the corrector formula, and it is used to correct or define the predicted value. So we shall see its application in the problems. Right now it is for us to remember the formulae. Milne's we have two formulae. Adam-Bashforth we have two formulae to remember. So we have to remember the coefficients along with the signs correctly and then apply them in problems. So this video is dedicated only for the explanation of what these methods are and what are their respective formulae. We shall do the working rule and then stop this video. So now comes the working rule to solve the IVP using any one of the two methods, whether it's Milne's or Adams. The only formula changes, but the stepwise methodology is the same. So let's list it down carefully. Let us write the IVP in the first step. Then the second step, we shall write the predictor formula, whichever we are using, either it's Milne's or Adams, and we substitute n equal to 3 in the predictor formula. Substitute n equal to 3 and get the value of, I am writing it in the general form here, but in the problems we will be getting the value of y4p because I am putting n equal to 3. And please note that keep your calculators fixed to 4 decimal places. Next step is when you are using the corrector formula, please fix your calculators to 5 decimal places. Substitute the value of this for yn plus 1 comma p in the required place of the corrector formula and get the new value of yn plus 1c, meaning it is y4c. So what am I substituting? I am substituting y4p value in the right hand side of the corrector formula, and what am I getting? I am getting y4c. Once I get that y new value of corrected value, let us check whether these two values agree correctly up to the required number of decimal places. Now my question may be, give me the answer correct to 4 decimal places. So y4p and y4c should exactly match up to 4 decimal places. If it does, then the value that I get in y4c will be declared as the result. But if there is a discrepancy, if these two values do not coincide correct to 4 decimal places, I will have to now use this new value of y4c. I am forgetting y4p then. I will have to use this new y4c again in the right hand side of the corrector formula and get another value of y4c as I explained earlier. Then the verification is done between the old y4c and the new y4c. So y4p is totally scrapped off. It is between these two corrected values. If these two corrected values agree to the required number of decimal places, stop there and declare that value to be the answer for y4. So please note that this is the important step and understand that the corrected value method is an iterative procedure. An iterative procedure is used for the corrected value, whereas a direct substitution is used in the predicted value. And finally, declare the result. I am sure if you get the outline here, you will be able to solve the problems and understand when I apply this concept there. So let us go to the next video wherein I will be solving problems using Milne's alone. We will do two problems exclusively in detail to explain the procedure to be adopted to solve using Milne's predictor corrector formulae. So this working rule, keep them in mind, and the 4 set of formulae, 2 for Milne's and 2 for Adams. So thank you for your patience. Let's meet in the next video. Take care.